What's up, what's up, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Talk About It Kiki with your host, Kiki, baby. I am so excited to be back on my YouTube channel journey. I have been gone forever. Thank you to all my subscribers who have stuck with me. If you're new here, welcome. Oh, child, you in for a ride, baby. I've been gone for a while, and your girl is locked and loaded, babe. You see it? Yeah. So like I mentioned before, this is my page, Talk About It Kiki, where we talk about everything from mental health to what's going on in society, and of course the one and the only, Jesus Christ. And we talk about everything that Christians go through that not a lot of people in the church talk about, that should be talked about, and we just get down to the nitty gritty about stuff. I honestly wanted to start my new YouTube channel because I've gained so much knowledge over the course of time, and I've done so much more research, read so much more books, watched a lot of YouTube videos, and I'm ready to share with you guys what I have learned and experienced. Yeah. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. So as you guys can see by the title, unfortunately this video is going to be about something very, very hard and very, very traumatic. So I'm going to try my best to not shed any tears, but I feel like this was a topic very important to me and something that doesn't get talked about a lot in the church, and honestly doesn't get talked about much in general. As you can see, it's called the Grieving Christian, and I put the Grieving Christian strategically because grief just isn't spoken about enough in the Christian community. So this video is actually going to be in two parts, because one of them is going to be talking about, well, this one is going to be talking about what I experienced in my own life in the past few years. Well, I can't say a few years, but it felt like years. Yeah. Right. Yeah. What I felt in the past year and some change, in regards to my own story, and then the second part is just gonna talk about what I learned and what I'm still learning, and just basically advice that I've heard that I didn't think was the best advice, and advice that I thought really changed my life, and things that I honestly did to help myself through this grieving journey. So the breakdown of this video is just going to be in at least 3 simple parts. I'm going to talk about what happened, how it affected my walk, and how it affected me. So hold on tight. If this video triggers you in any type of way, you are free to, click off whatever you need to do, take a breather, get a drink of water, come back, please. My apologies in advance if I do get emotional, but I will try not to, and if I do, this will probably be my last video because I don't like crying on camera. So hopefully I don't cry. I'll try. Alright, so what happened? My heart is already pounding and churning, and my stomach is like rising to my throat thinking about it. I honestly did not want to do this video. It took a lot of convincing and prayer. My heart. September 4th, 2021, I actually lost a very, very, very close friend of mine, best friend of mine, by the name of Isaiah Johnson. He was only 21, and he had just turned 21. Actually, his birthday passed April the 19th of that same year, and he just had his whole life ahead of him. His life was taken literally way too soon, and I'm still processing it. Like, I know what happened, but I don't know all of the details out of respect for the family and everything. I'm not gonna say all that I know or all that I believe happened, but I know that he passed by drowning, and there is still further investigation. Isaiah was this fun, loving, charismatic, very charming young man who I didn't like at first because I kind of saw that he thought he was all that in a bag of chips. And me personally, I'm an introvert and he was an extrovert. But I can honestly say that he was the male version of myself. We were so close because we literally mirrored each other, and yet we were opposite. And I really felt like I had found a doppelganger in him. We literally did a lot of things together. We experienced a lot of things together. We went on field trips while we were at HCC together. We planned events. Honestly, if you saw Isaiah, you saw me. And if you saw me, you saw Isaiah. Period. Like, there's no other way to explain it. That's literally what it was. But I'm not gonna get too deep into our relationship. I'll say that for another video if y'all even care. But now I want to talk about basically, like, you know, how I found out, what I did, and what I felt in that moment. So I literally found out from my best friend who now lives in NC, North Carolina, and she at the time lived in Florida. But she called my phone September 5th of 2021, and it was early in the morning, like around 8 o'clock, and I usually get up and turn on YouTube so that I can watch my church's service online. I was going to FAU, by the way, Florida Atlantic in Boca, so I wasn't in Tampa, and didn't see him much because he went off to his schooling and everything like that, doing what he does best. So she's calling me, and I missed the call because it's early, I'm not awake yet, but I can feel the vibrations as I'm waking up, and I saw that it was her calling me, and I was like, you know, how come she's calling me this early? And I call her back, and as I'm calling her back, I look at the phone and I can see that she sent me a message, and the message said, you know, like, this can't be true. And I was like, all right. So, you know, I call her and she answers the phone, and I'm like, you know, hey, what's going on? And she's like, I can hear it in her voice that she's like, I'm terrified to tell you this, but you have to know. So, so she basically asked if I heard what happened, and I told her no, I didn't. But she, you know, just basically told me, she literally just tells me that, you know, he passed away, and that his mother posted something on Facebook about it. And this is why I didn't want to make this video. It's still extremely fresh in my mind. To this day, I feel the pain of when I found out literally a year ago. I cried immediately as soon as I got off the phone with her. She lives like 3 hours away from me, and she was like, I'm coming to see you. And I love her for that. I give her, I owe her a lot for that, because I could not be alone at that moment. I honestly can't begin to explain to you guys what I felt in that moment. In that moment, I couldn't believe it. I was in so much pain, and I literally felt like a piece of my heart was just torn out of my chest, and I was in shock. The first thing I did after crying my eyes out was I tried to call my mom and tell her, and I think that was the hardest phone call to my mother, because she also, you know, loved Isaiah. The family loved him, so that phone call was hard. Lord. Moving on. When I called my mom at first, when I called my mom, she didn't answer on the first, you know, call. She called me back later, and I told her about it, and, you know, she was very sad, and, you know, I remember texting a lot of people calling me, making sure I didn't go off the deep end. I honestly didn't, because it was still so like, what? But I remember distinctly just turning on the church service and they started singing the song, which I actually hate to this day because it reminds me of this day that he passed away. And literally I'm, speaking on the phone to people, I'm crying my eyes out. If you know anything about my church's service, you know that they sing songs during offering. Of course, I'm sure any church would do that, but they sing songs during offering, and one of the songs was I thank God. And honestly, the song is fine. It was just the part where they started saying, and I was like, we're not gonna talk about graves right now, like, come on. And on top of that, the pastor started preaching about water and baptism and going in the water, and I was just like, all right, service on mute, I'm done here. So from that moment on, life just became at a standstill, and just super, like, even when it did start to move, it was just moving very slow, and it was so dark. I'm extremely sensitive to death and losing people forever, so the fact that it hit so close to home, I couldn't take it. I'm not built for grief, and I told God that. It's not that God don't listen, but it's just sometimes he's like, look, you don't know you more than I know you, and I know you are built for this, so here you go. I'm just like, why? And the reason I want to talk about grief as a Christian, we have very essential things that we're supposed to do in our Christian walk. We're supposed to pray, we're supposed to witness, we're supposed to be a light to people who are in darkness. We're supposed to tell people that life has meaning, that life has purpose, and that God loves you, all this stuff. But this death impacted my Christian walk. So long story short, I didn't pray, I didn't be a witness to people, well, not as often as I should have. Always angry, depression. Oh my goodness, I thought I knew what depression was because I'm a psych major, I study these things. So you don't know what depression is until that thing hits you. And I didn't want to put that on myself because I'm a Christian and they don't really indulge in those things, but I was depressed. Still am. Ultimately, I think the biggest change though was that I didn't see life as precious. When somebody passes, you start to realize like life is short. Life is so precious. Live your life. Life didn't mean a thing to me. Life was meaningless. Life had no value. The things in life that we tried to obtain had no value. The degree I was trying to get had no value. Still don't got no value, but that's another topic. But my dream career, vanity. I was literally Solomon in Ecclesiastes 1. I was just like vanity. Like everything has no purpose. And was I suicidal? No, but if I died, I was not gonna be upset. Life was just not it. It is what it is. It is what it is. I have to thank God for his patience with me, for him understanding that I wasn't ready to talk with him, and I was just in such this dark place that I felt like even he couldn't find me. But he was never hard on me. He was never like, get up and pray. Come talk to me. Read your Bible. You read your Bible? Go read your Bible. He wasn't like that at all. And I'm grateful that he is such a gentleman and he waited on me. And even in my grief, he was good. I can't even explain it to you, but in my grief, he was still good. That wraps up this video. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for hearing my story. If you cried with me, oh my God, you're a real one. If you didn't cry, you a G, you a gangster. You my boy. Thank you so much for the love, support. Thank you for the patience. Please like and share with any Christian or anyone that you know that is grieving and just needs encouragement. Let them know that there will be a part 2 where I inform them on what I've done, what has helped me, what I'm learned, what I'm still learning, what I'm learned. Stupid. It's gonna be a part 2. Just yeah. So thank you guys. I will see you guys in part 2 of the Grieving Christian. Anything in this video that you relate to or have any questions about, please feel free to comment, and I will definitely get back to you because I ain't famous and I can see every comment. Yeah. Thank you, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.
Life is black and blue, happy then it's sad. Just call it an adventure, then it ain't so bad. Together we touch the sky, wherever